Hi gang, Kyle Kallander, Commissioner of the Big South Conference, here for the next Kyle Commish update. Obviously a lot going on campus and certainly in the conference office these days. Two huge issues that we're dealing with right now, and I wanted to bring you up to speed on our conversations around both of those. The first, of course, being the pandemic and how we're reacting to the COVID-19 issues. It's interesting that we do have student athletes coming back on campus currently, which we're excited about. We're excited about them resocializing on campus and beginning to get ready for the fall season. But what we're doing as a conference office is really engaging our leadership on campus, from our athletics directors to our team physicians, our head athletics trainers. We have all of them getting together and talking about these important issues. First of all, it's sharing information. What are they all doing? What's going on in their states? How are they able to manage that? But secondly, as a conference, we feel like it's important that we have some kind of standards or minimum guidelines in place as we get to the fall seasons. We want to make sure our student athletes have the same experiences when they're on the road as they're having at home in regards to how are we sanitizing our facilities, how are we pre-screening what we're calling the inner bubble, the participants in our contests, how are we addressing new infections that come about, and how can we all work together to make sure it's consistent across the board. Still a lot of work left to do on that, but we're excited about the direction we're going. Most of all, we're excited about the fact that we're working on the how it's going to happen rather than if it's going to happen. I'm confident that we're going to have fall seasons. We just don't know yet what exactly that's going to look like. Of course, the second issue is in relation to anti-racism and social injustice. I think most of you saw the statement that we made on June 1st about the fact that the conference is committed to working with our member institutions to address these issues. And not just now, but certainly on into the future. I think it's also important for you to understand what we've already done. We took the action to take Election Day off, which was the right thing to do, and we're excited about the fact that we're able to really enhance the ability for our student athletes to vote and vote in a meaningful way. We also have in place, and we have for several years, a diversity policy that addresses a number of things around diversity, including what we might call is similar to the Rooney Rule, which is having a diverse pool of candidates when we're making important hires on campus. To that end, we have what we call a connection program. We sponsor events where we bring in minority administrators and coaches to meet and network with our decision makers on campus, and also provide them for some professional development opportunities. That's really important because that's where it begins. We want our institutions to know there's great candidates out there that can help with the diversity on campus, and that's really critical for us moving forward. But we've been having great conversations on campus. We've had 2 calls so far with our student athletes. First, the officers of our Student Athlete Advisory Committee, and the second with our full SAAC, the presidents from all our SAACs on campus, which has been great. It's been wonderful to hear what's on their hearts, to really understand and hear what's important to them in these areas, and what are their ideas about addressing those on campus. They're really engaged in talking about how can we educate each other on these issues. How can we take steps to make sure everybody feels comfortable? What are ways that we can come together to address it? So we're talking about student athlete workshops that might go throughout the year, speakers that will come in to address it, educational resources for everybody. And also we're talking about beyond just our student athlete conversation, but what are our expectations for what's happening on campus with our administrations and our programs? So we're putting a task force together to really address those things and really have an understanding across the conference what the expectations are in that regard. Our institutions traditionally have done a nice job on that, but we want to take the next step and we want to continue to address those on into the future. An exciting opportunity that we have coming up this summer is our leadership conference. We always have this leadership conference for our student athletes, and usually there's about 50 that come to a central location and really have an opportunity to meet each other, enjoy each other, and take away some important leadership concepts back to campus. Well, unfortunately, we can't do that this year, but we all are having in its place a leadership series that's going to happen over a week or 2. The silver lining there is that we can expand that to include up to 400 student athletes. So we're excited about being able to provide those leadership lessons, as we always have, to those 400 student athletes, but also being able to tie in these other topics we've just been addressing. We're going to have programming around anti-racism and social injustice. We're going to be talking about what's happening to them when they've been isolated in this pandemic, and also what to expect when they come back on campus. It's a great opportunity for us to really talk with the student athletes, hear from them, listen to them, and really get important feedback, because that's why we're in this business. We're here for them, and we want to know what's important to them and how we can move forward with their best interest in heart. So thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. We appreciate it, and we're looking forward to seeing everybody in person soon.